Hello and welcome back. This is the Hangout day itself and there's so much to do. I usually like to start my Hangout 1 or 2 hours before I go live. I want to test the sound and that the video works. I'll look at testing the lower thirds and the custom overlays. I'll copy the custom URL and send it to invitees, not to the general public. That's very important to be aware of. I'll also grab the YouTube link and add that to my website so that the Hangout can be streamed live there. I'll put the video embed code on Facebook. If you're using Facebook, that's optional but really effective if your audience is there. And then I spend time relaxing and chatting with my guests in the green room. So let's take a look at all of these steps inside the Hangout. Now let's take a look at what happens inside a Hangout. First of all, you can see that this is currently off air. If I want to go live and start the broadcast, I'll hit the green button here. Over on the left-hand side are all the tools, and you can see that they come and go depending on if your mouse is hovering over them. So if you can't see them, take your mouse over to the left-hand side and they should show up. Starting at the very top, you've got the chat. This enables people inside the Hangout to have conversations with each other, and you can see over on the right you can just type in a message and hit enter and it appears on the right hand side. So that's the chat. Coming down further, other tools that are available are the screen share options. If you click this green button, I can now share my screen with you. And when I hit start screen share, here I'm just showing a website, but I could be sharing a PowerPoint presentation or a Google document. And it's really very, very useful. Other people inside the Hangout can also share their screen. And to go back to the Hangout, I click the green screen share button again. Underneath that you can see the Q&A tool, which enables people to ask you questions. Those people who are watching using G+, all the questions and answers will appear there on the right. The next button is screen capture. You can actually take a picture of people inside the Hangout that could then be uploaded to your live events. The next one is the cameraman. Here you can choose what to do when guests join. Do you want to hide the audio and video? That might be something you decide you want to do. Do you want to hide the little video feeds of people who are joining the Hangout? And when new guests join, do you want them to be muted? So these are all the options under cameraman. So coming back, my favourite tool is the Hangout toolbox. Here you can see all kinds of options when you select it, and we'll look at that next. Inside the Hangout toolbox is where you can add your custom overlay. Here you can see I've already got an overlay showing, and I always start the Hangout show with an overlay and then remove it. So it's very easy to upload an overlay, but first of all let's just take this one off. I'll just click that button there and now we're inside the show. And if I want to add a different overlay, click the button, the red button there, and I'll use this overlay that I used for the John Miller Hangout this week. And you can see when I click the on button, that's the overlay that I used. So I would always recommend you start the show with the overlay and then just remove it so that you can smoothly go straight to the Hangout itself. Now let's take a look at the lower third. Before I do that, I'll have to remove the custom overlay. So you can type your name in there, you can type a tagline, I'm just going to call it training, you can upload a logo, you can choose the colour for the strip at the bottom, and make sure you click the on button. If your lower third is showing as a mirror image, look at this little button to the left hand side, which enables you to switch it around so that it looks correct. And you can choose lots of different lower thirds. I've got a few preset ones I've created earlier. So I've got my Hangouts for Business one and a Better Act Now one. So you can play around with creating your own lower thirds. So moving away from the Hangout toolbox, let's come over to the control room, which is where you can control the sound and video of all the members inside the Hangout. The other thing at the very top here is you can invite people to join you, you can turn your own microphone off, your camera off, you can check the bandwidth usage, you can also click the cog and check the settings, make sure your microphone is working and your speaker. And if you wanted to end the Hangout, you could just click this button here. The link that you send to the people who've got a special invite to come inside the Hangout is this one in the browser here. Just copy it and you can either send that via an email or via a Google post that's addressed just to those individuals. This link must not be shared with the public. So now we need to make sure people can watch our Hangout from a variety of different places, and to do that we're going to click the links button, the bottom right hand corner of the Hangout. The other option is to grab these links from the Google Plus events page. If you remember, I showed you where that was earlier. So I'm going to highlight and copy the YouTube page, and I'm going to show you how I add this to my website. So first of all, we'll go over to my website. I've got a particular page there where I stream these Hangouts live. That's one from a previous show, but I'll show you how I can put this training one on there. I use WordPress, so I'm going to go inside the dashboard of WordPress. I'm going to come across to Pages, and I'm going to find the live show page and click Edit. Now, when that opens up, you can see that line of code enables me to see that YouTube, in actual fact, centered and across the page. So I'm just going to paste in the actual link from the training Hangout, and the key bit that I want is this last bit. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it in here. Be ever so careful that that goes in, and paste that in, and I can just remove that. And now I'm going to update this, and what we should see is we should see the training Hangout showing. So let's just come across here, and I'm just going to refresh the page, and we should be able to see that. And then we click on that, you can see we're standing by. It's going to start very, very soon. So that's how to embed the YouTube onto your website. If your audience is on Facebook, you'll want to stream your Hangout video to Facebook so that they can watch it from the comfort of Facebook. And to do that, all you need to do is to grab the video embed code, select it and copy it, and then come across to Facebook. Now, here's my Facebook page, and I've got apps that I use to stream my Hangouts from Facebook. And here's the app that I use. It's from 22 Social, and you can see here that this is the Hangout that was live last week, and I'm going to replace that with the training one. So I do that by coming up to the content button and choose media, and here I'm going to replace that video embed code with the one that I've just copied and preview. And here you can see the Hangout training video that we've created, and you can see I've got to stand by. It's going to be starting soon, so you do have to make sure that you save that, and then that will be available for your Facebook fans to watch from inside Facebook. Okay, so we're live inside a Google Hangout on air. I clicked the Start Broadcast button at the bottom, and now that's showing as red, and you can see we're live. And the first thing I want to do as soon as the broadcast is live is take off the overlay image, and I'll just select that, and now you can see me on the camera on the main screen. I've got one visitor today with me on the Hangout, and if you notice at the very bottom, all the images of all the guests will show. And you can control who's going to speak by using the blue box technique. At the moment I'm blue boxed, so it's my face and it's my image that's on the main screen. But let me just click the guest's image, that's Steve. So I've clicked his box there and you can see he's on the main screen now. So Steve, would you just like to say a few words to test the audio?
Hi.
Excellent.
Hi there. How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you very much. And if you notice, now that I've got Steve blue boxed, there's a drop down arrow alongside that, so I could potentially hide that guest from the broadcast. I could take a look at his profile. I could eject him from the Hangout or even mute his sound. So those are the controls that you have access to when you're live inside the broadcast. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can control the Hangout to make sure the whole experience is smooth for all your guests and all your viewers. Now let's recap all the things you need to do on the Hangout day itself. Start the Hangout with plenty of time before you go live. Test sound and video equipment, test the lower thirds are working and your custom overlay. Don't forget to copy the custom URL, which is at the top of the Hangout, and that's the thing that you can send to all your invitees. You don't want to make that public because you'll have all sorts of people trying to join your Hangout that haven't been invited. And then you can add your YouTube link to your website, the video embed code to Facebook, and when you've got everything set up, you can relax and chat with your guests in the green room prior to hitting the start broadcast button when you go live stream to the various channels. In the next video, we'll take a look at the things you need to do after you've had your Hangout.